Only one independent.
Uh-huh.
And the rest are either Green Party or Socialist.
So you didn't really feel like it expanded your choices much, do you?
No, didn't at all.
Huh.
I don't know why. I mean, there's nothing. And you never saw anyone with the park people, so you know, you don't know what any of them stood for as far as wasting park money. You know, bike ramps and weird stuff like that that doesn't need to be there. You know, so I mean, for parks, keep them clean, keep them pretty, and keep the dog out.
So, you didn't really see the candidates you wanted to see. Do you think it was added difficulty to it?
I mean, not so much added difficulty, it's just they all stood for the same thing except for possibly the independent. You know, or the libertarian, sorry. Not an independent, it was a libertarian. And they're a little more, I'd say, somewhat conservative. You know, I think we waste too much money on things we don't need to be wasting money on. You know, as far as in the city, and none of the other ones, it's spend, 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 and how are they going to get it? Well, they start at the top taxing, and then they work it down to the middle class.
So maybe you're in the wrong precinct to be seeing the choices you want.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to make a change somewhere.
Well, thanks very much. So why aren't any more conservatives running in this district, you think?
Well, unfortunately, conservatives are linked more with Republicans, and Republicans in this district are not Republicans. They're just, they take the Republican name to try and get that vote. They're not very conservative fiscally at all. They'll vote exactly the same way their Democrat counterpart will vote 9 out of 10 times.
How do you think that was engineered? Who wants it? Who does it?
That's a good question. I don't know, because in in the way they've got it set up, I can guarantee you more independent candidates will probably end up winning, because the independent's always going to be your number 2 choice almost every time. In other words, the off party. Because your Democrat will very rarely vote for your Republican, and your Republican will very rarely vote for your Democrat. So
the spillover is going to get to the independent.
Spillover is going to cause a lot of independents and third-party choices to come about, and I think that's what they're trying to create, is to give the third party a stronger, because you have to have obviously X amount.
Minneapolis voted for this almost 2-1.
Yeah.
Saying yes. It'll be interesting, because here's the other killer thing about this. That machine doesn't know how to read the second and third vote. That'll all have to be hand counted. It may not be till mid-December.
We already know how hand counting goes in this state.
Right, and we also may not know till mid-December for some of these votes. They may be very complicated.
Yeah, and the worst part will be is, hey, where did all these extra ballots come from?
Did it give you any confusion? This is the first time you've seen it. Did
Not as much as I thought. You look at it, if you look at the ballot, look at the sample ballot first. It'll give you an idea of what you see. And then just read the ballot carefully, and you should be okay.
So St. Paul's considering this. Would you recommend it to them?
Yes, yes. Anything that expands democracy.
How do you think it expands democracy?
Because it gives people choices, and I think it gives people a chance to vote for, quote, minor party candidates. And often, if you look at things like Social Security, unemployment insurance, they were actually ideas of, quote, minor parties before they became part of the New Deal.
And then I think those ideas at times threaten the major parties, and they absorb the idea.
Well, they co-opt them when it suits them. And so it's, you know, it's a way to sometimes express opinions that wouldn't normally be expressed through these candidates.
I'm doing it for the uptake.org. And you're welcome to see this, but I have actually no idea, editorial-wise, as to whether it will appear. But I can say this, the sad news is, I've been here a number of times when the line went from here to the street down there, and today I've hit about 3 people so far to interview, and I've been here an hour.
Well, you know, I think the thing is, well, last year it was obvious, you know, the President of the United States. This, I think, a lot of things are just foregone conclusion who's going to win. I think, you know, you can vote for third-party candidates, but I suspect Rybeck's going to win.
I think maybe that's perhaps the only safe prediction, though. Because I think many things are up in the air thanks to this, and I'm really curious what will happen. Tomorrow, I don't think we'll know, though.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Do it right. You know, look, in 2000, they didn't do it right, and they took a long time, and we got Bush.
This may happen a little bit here in that I've read that the machine cannot read your second or third votes. And the machine will tell us the first vote tonight, but they're going to have to hand count the rest. And they're looking at perhaps mid-December for some of these decisions.
San Francisco, I read something.
They're another city that does this.
But they spend a lot more on the computer system at the beginning.
Apparently, the new computers will probably be coming out adapted to this. So right now we have a system that is old.
So, I mean, so what if it takes a while? Will we have to know everything?
No, but it's always kind of amazing when you actually compare us to other countries that actually hand vote or hand count overnight. There's a number that do.
Well, maybe it means just hiring more people, training more people. I don't know.
I've seen more people helping in there today than I have voters.
Because a lot of times, here's another thing. A lot of times people may vote after work or something like that.
What did you think? What were your impressions of that?
It was actually very, very simple. It's really easily illustrated and explained when you walk in. So it came as no surprise, even though I didn't feel particularly prepared. It was very simple.
What do you think it will do? What do you think will be the effect?
I really don't know.
That's kind of up in the air, isn't it?
That is up in the air. We'll see. I think waiting to find out will be a change.
I also noticed that because our little machine in there can only really read your first vote. And the other two are going to have to be counted by hand, and that might not be known for a while. Maybe mid-December, I've read in the paper. So that tonight we may only know a few candidates who've won in our minds.
It's true. And we voted to make the change, so it's
interesting to see too that you can actually contradict yourself on those votes.
Exactly.
Well, that's America for you.
Thank you.
One other thing I'd like to say, isn't it kind of sad, the turnout? Because I've been here a number of times to this station, and I've been here when the line went out to Franklin Avenue, and even first thing in the morning. And you're about the fourth person I've talked to.
I think at 9, I think I was number 56, if I read it correctly, so it's a little slow.
Yes, it is. Come on, everyone. We pay dearly for this. We pay dearly for this.
I think that it could be useful, but for some of the races, it's more confusing than actually useful. For example, for the park board, where there's 3 candidates, you used to just vote for 3, and now you actually have to rank the 3, but you don't get to vote for more than 3 still.
So your first impression seemed kind of strange, and I also noticed this, that for some positions we only had one choice, and I could vote for them 3 times.
But you couldn't, because then your ballot would be eliminated. So, I guess I kind of get the point of potentially...
And what do you think that is? That's the key part of this.
Giving people that may not be able to... I mean, I understand the arguments for giving people a chance to vote for third-party candidates, but I don't think that a third-party candidate is necessarily going to win because of the ranked choice voting.
It'll be interesting to see whether they come up at all with their voice, because it might be that outcome. We're only the 8th city in America, large city, to really adopt this. It's still young, so maybe we'll learn more about it and get to exploit it more.
Yeah, I have a friend that lives over in St. Paul, and she was saying that she was disappointed that she had to vote for whether or not to adopt ranked choice voting there before they could see how it worked here.
I think that will be very influential. So they're actually voting today, so they don't really get to find out the results.
Exactly.
And we don't either for about maybe several weeks, unless you...
So I think that's one probable disadvantage of the system.
Yes. I think the machines will come up to it, but right now our generation machine in there currently only counts your first vote.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they'll have to do the rest by hand, and that could take a while. So interesting what will happen. Well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Let's talk about ranked choice voting for a second. What did you think of that?
Well, first of all, I didn't realize that you had the choice to not choose 3.
Yes.
I thought that you had to choose 3. So I really had to clarify that when I went in there, because actually I would prefer just to choose 1. I only have 1 choice. I don't really have a second and third. And I'm not really sold on ranked choice voting, mostly because I'm not really that aware of what the outcome is or how
I don't think we understand the outcome at all right now either, but I think we brought it up for this reason, to try and jar the idea that only 2 political parties have power. and that we were hoping to have maybe a third voice or a third solution be offered at times. And that's really the idea behind it. We're the 8th major city in America to try this out.
Oh,
and we can also say this.
Not much.
We can also say this too. Our machine can only count the first vote, and so we're probably not going to actually find out the outcome today, unless, of course, you have a clear winner, perhaps like Mayor Rybeck, who's only got, one seat. But when we have something like the City Council, which has a bunch of seats, we could probably take till mid-December to find out some of those results.
So they need to be hand count.
Righto.
I see. All right.
So this could take a while.
Well, there's another complication for
yes.
you, isn't it?
However, though, probably in the future we'll get a machine that will do that count, but we don't have that currently.
I see. Very good.
Yes. Well, what did you think of it then? You didn't really like it. I got that impression from you.
I didn't really utilize it. I just put in my first choice. So, yeah, I didn't utilize it.
Well, that's a fair answer. That's the real answer. And I think it's kind of amusing that you could end up even contradicting yourself with vote number 2 or 3.
True. Yeah, true. It just seems like it might be putting more choices into the pool against your choice. Like I said, I don't really understand how the outcome is.
We voted for it ourselves. And approximately a 2-to-1 vote in 2006.
I don't recall voting for it. Oh, I probably voted against it, and I was one of the ones who voted against it.
Well, we'll see what happens then. Do you mind giving us your name?
I am Trish Brown.
Thanks. I heard that a little bit. Over that truck is Trish. Thanks, Trish. Thanks a lot. What did you think of having the ranked choice votes today?
It's good to go out and vote.
It was. Did you just vote right up there, about 3 blocks away?
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, isn't it, to see the turnout? Because I've been there before when there were hundreds of people in line.
It's not an election.
I know, but it still matters to me and you.
Yeah, it does matter. Everyone should get out and vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have any confusion about this? Did you look at a ballot before you showed up today?
The Union Hall sent me it out.
And what did you do with your choices? You don't have to tell me who you voted for, but what did you think of how being able to vote for 2 or 3?
I just voted for one person.
Really? So even with the chance, I've heard that from other people too. That even with that choice, they didn't do it.
No.
Yes. Well, do you feel like giving us your name?
My name's Eddie Bill.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Just came from the polls, and I can say one sad thing about them: there was hardly anybody there.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's local, so locally, it's not always as the national or so. Hardly very people notice that, even though this year is going to be about rank.
Tell me about your candidate, will you?
My candidate has been active for the community and has been involved a lot of history for community activist background roots, stuff like that. He has been advocate for small businesses and housing and safety, stuff like that. So,
are you both Somali by any chance?
Yes,
I'd have to say wonderful,
because
I
think
Somali,
and he's originally from new immigrants.
You've really moved in then when you start to become part of the political process.
Yes, absolutely. We have been newcomers. That's what we call. But we need a political new change. So we need to be active for the neighborhood. We need to be. Our children is going to be here for the rest of their lives. So we need to build them in the future. That where there is a diversity, people they can integrate, and we need an environmental place that all the people, all the
Is he running as a Democrat or what?
He's running for Green Party because of.
But is he side to the left? Would you say to the right, in the middle?
He's kind of in the middle. I'm not involved for any political party, but always I look at the issues. What the person represent, and I've been advocate for Democrats, Republican, and Independent or Green Party, whatever. So for me, it doesn't have any issues for the party, because I don't want to affiliate for any parties, But M. Kali, he's running.
What kind of reaction are you getting from your community? Do you think that they're turning out to vote today?
Our community? We hope so. First of all, it's hope so. We're trying to, reach them, but not only our community, but we're trying to reach anybody that lives in the neighborhood. Since if he has been elected, he's going to be representing the neighborhood, and the neighborhood, as you know, the Whittier neighborhood or Ward 6 is kind of diverse So we have been reaching all the, all the faith, all the, people, all the diverse people. So we hope that, but our target is also our community and, middle class people and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully that we will hope so, and if he has been elected, we will congratulate him and we wish him well. If not, we knock the door. So it's going to be, he's the one who was running for the local offices. But hopefully there, in the future, will be another, another candidate. So,
do you think anything will happen because of this multi-choice voting? Because that is supposed to open the door to third-party candidates more.
Yeah, it has a downside and it has a, a upside too. But the upside, which is great than downside, because maybe the second person who get the most second vote will come out. Who knows? If you get the first choice and maybe the next, but it's very good. I really like that, instead of having a two-person running each other. It's giving a choice. A lot of people are saying that there was a choice that I have. It really first gave me some choice. So
what kind of reaction are you finding out here this morning? How long you been out here?
I've been here since this morning, and I've been getting a lot of good reactions from the people. I was really very happy, and all the kind of people, especially non-Somalis, but all the people that I have met them, they always congratulate, and they said, okay, we want to vote for you. So
I think you're doing something really American. And now it's kind of sad to think that people have maybe been here for 2 or 3 generations and they won't get out of their chair to go vote today.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would encourage everybody to get vote, and this is, you need your voice to be here, and hopefully that will be accountability when you voted. If something happened, you can say, okay, yeah, it was my vote that caused the negative or the the positive, and you can take some action after that. But if you don't vote, you can say, it's not me, I didn't vote. So I encourage everybody to vote, and their voice to be here, and their voice to be counted. So I encourage that, and that's why I'm going out, and not only for him but also politically, I'm encouraging the people to go vote, So that's good, positive too. So we need some people like that.
So well, thanks very much. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Abdul Kadir Hashi.
Thank you very much, Abdul.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Yeah.